We talked about what happens if Kyler Murray goes first overall. Now let's talk about Nick Bosa. Alright guys, for this mock draft, Nick Bosa goes first overall instead of Kyler Murray. Cardinals decide to keep Josh Rosen and get a pass rushing main for Chandler Jones. So what kind of ripple effect does this have in the draft? Well, the 49ers now don't have Nick Bosa, but they still have a choice to make. They could take Quentin Williams or Josh Allen. Now, if I was the 49er GM, I go with Josh Allen because I need help at the edge rusher position more than I need help at the defensive tackle position. But that's okay. Quentin Williams also rises a spot in this draft because he gets taken by the New York Jets. Jets have had a pretty good run with defensive linemen. Quentin Williams is the latest in that line. The Raiders' pick also changes because they don't have Quentin Williams, but they still take a defensive lineman. I say Rashawn Gary from Michigan is the pick. Raiders think they can get Rashawn Gary to live to his potential. Now, these next few picks are the same ones that I had with Kyler Murray, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about these. Tampa Bay still gets a middle linebacker in Devin White. New York Giants get Daniel Jones from Duke. The Jacksonville Jaguars still take Jawan Taylor out of Florida. The Detroit Lions still take Montez Sweat from Mississippi State. The Buffalo Bills still get tight end TJ Hockenson from Iowa. Denver still gets their quarterback in Drew Lock. The Bengals still take Andre Dillard from Stanford. And finally, the Packers still take Ed Oliver from Houston. Now this next pick is the one that changes. Miami does not take Dwayne Haskins. They don't even take a quarterback. Instead, they go Jonah Williams, offensive guard from Alabama. They get help on the offensive line and wait till 2020 to take their quarterback. Atlanta Falcons pick also changes because now they cannot take Jonah Williams, but they do get the best corner in this draft, which is Greedy Williams from LSU. Washington still takes Marquise Brown, so that doesn't change. Rashawn Gary going number 4 overall. Carolina then takes Cody Ford from Oklahoma, gets some help on that offensive line. The Giants, meanwhile, come back and they can no longer take Greedy Williams, so they decide to take Colin Farrell from Clemson, get an edge rusher to help them out. Vikings, meanwhile, cannot take Cody Ford, so they decide to take Garrett Bradbury from NC State. I don't know how he fell as far as he did in my first mock draft, but he's a top 20 pick in this one. Tennessee, meanwhile, takes Noah Fant instead of Devin Bush, which means the Steelers can take Devin Bush and replace Ryan Shazier. Seattle and Baltimore's picks are still the same in Jeffrey Simmons and DK Metcalf. Houston, meanwhile, they took Noah Fant, but now they take the third best tight end in this draft in Irv Smith Jr. With Farrell already off the board, the Raiders instead take Byron Murphy from Washington. Philadelphia still takes Josh Jacobs to help out the running back group, and Christian Wilkins still falls to the Colts. He probably won't on draft day, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but it's just how the mock draft fell. The Raiders finish up their first round by taking Dexter Lawrence from Clemson. Chargers, meanwhile, are able to take DeAndre Baker from Georgia. KC, meanwhile, gets Jonathan Abram, the safety from Mississippi State, which means the Packers go A.J. Brown, wide receiver from Ole Miss. The Rams get help on their offensive line with Chris Landstorm from Boston College. And the Patriots, they still take Brian Burns to finish up the first round. Alright guys, those were my 2 mock drafts. Now let me know what you guys think. I think I'm going to get a lot of hate for where some of these players ended up. However, it was fun to do it, and I will be doing it again next year. And I'll see you next time.